how's it going? My name is Marquise Boyce, and I help entrepreneurs grow their business with automation, elimination, and delegation. And today we're going to be diving headfirst into delegation, where I'm going to show you how to get time back in your business and get things off your plate by hiring qualified people online who can do the work for you. So today we're going to be talking all about Upwork. And Upwork is a platform that you can go online and actually hire people all over the world to do certain tasks in your business. Stuff that you just never got around to, or maybe stuff that you just don't even have the skill set to do. You could probably learn it, but why take up the extra time? So, and I'm talking about things like logo design, building out websites, building out funnels, research. I mean, literally, even if you need like a personal assistant for yourself in your business or developers, you can find all of these great tasks to be done by people on Upwork. And Upwork is a great platform that I've been using for many years now. I almost want to consider it like a secret weapon to me, being able to get things done in record time. And clients that I work with or other professionals, like, man, how are you getting all this stuff done? Well, it's because I'm actually outsourcing it to other professionals and getting things done a lot quicker. So why should you use Upwork for your hiring needs? Well, first, because you're going to get access to a vast pool of skilled freelancers, like I said, all over the world, people who have skills from like web development to content creation to literally anything you can think of, you can find on Upwork. The second way, the streamlined hiring process. It's super easy to create a job proposal and actually have people start applying for it, and then everyone has detailed profiles and reviews and portfolios of work. So it makes it super simple to find the perfect fit for your next project. And even better, number 3, flexible payment options and escrow services. So it's a super secure platform, so you don't have to pay all your money up front. It actually gets put into an escrow, which is like a holding account, before it even gets over to the freelancer. So that way you can make sure that the quality of work is agreed upon on both sides before you hand it off. And then now you don't have to have any problems with paying anyone directly. Upwork really kind of handles the middleman for that payment processing. So to get started on Upwork, the very first thing you have to do is initially, obviously, create an account. But then you need to define your project and your requirements. So before you can actually start the search for finding someone on Upwork, you actually have to really create a project first. In theory, they actually find you, because once you create your project, then there are actually going to be keywords and tags that you can use. So people who have these particular skill sets, they can now go and apply for the project. So that's why you want to make sure you have a very specific idea in mind of what you want to get done, and dialing in specifically with like the particular task or any deliverables and timelines that you need. So if you need it to be like in a rush, or if you need it to say, happen, in the next 7 days, you want to make sure that you let that information be known in your project requirements. That way, only the qualified people who can actually meet that will apply. So now I'm going to quickly hop on over to Upwork so you can see what it looks like if you've never visited the page before. Now, if you don't have an account, all you need to do is click on this sign up button here at the top, and then you just want to click that you are a client hiring for a project. Now, I'll do another training later down the line if you're actually looking for clients on Upwork, but in this case, we are the client. We are the ones that's going to be hired for our project. So we will select that one, and then just say join as a client. From there, a box is just going to pop up for you to put in your information. So you want to put in your first, last name, your email address. You could also sign up with Google or Apple if you choose, and then click on create your account. Once you create your account, it's going to ask you to fill out some details about your profile, and then also you're going to have the opportunity then to link in your payment method, so you now have the ability to start actually posting jobs on the platform. So now that we've created an account, we're logged in, next we can actually post a job on Upwork. So you want to make sure that you have a very clear, detailed job description outlining the tasks, the skills, and experience that you expect. Set a competitive budget, and that's the flexibility of it, because we're posting to pretty much a worldwide audience of people, so we can definitely get work done at very competitive rates. So it's almost kind of like a bidding system. You are in charge of how much you want to pay, so you can set a proposal amount, and then people who will agree to work for that proposal amount will apply for it, and if not, they will actually probably even say, you know what, they'll take the job for less or even higher. It just depends. And then also you want to make sure that you use relevant keywords and tags to ensure that your job posting is easily found by qualified freelancers. So now I'm going to hop into my system and actually show you how to actually post a job description, and even give you a sample job description that you can kind of utilize for a virtual assistant, but then also kind of tweak it as well for other particular positions. Okay, so now we're here in Upwork. So this is what your home screen would normally look like if you have actually used it before. So as you can see here, it shows my workspace and previous jobs. And if you haven't, then it's pretty much just going to show you just like top evaluating talent and other categories for you to get started as a new user. But I've been using this Upwork for some years, so you can see a lot of particular people that I've worked with. But to actually post a new job, what you do is you want to click on this post a job here at the top right. You can also go at the top left here under jobs and say post a job. Either one is going to take you to the same spot. From here, we said we want to post a job, and then we select if we want this to be a long-term project or if we want it to be short-term. Long-term could be for something like if you need, maybe like you're creating a whole new brand new app or a brand new website that's going to take maybe, some months of development time plus months of testing. Or it could be something short-term, like maybe you need a logo design. Maybe you need someone to help you out with operations at a limited basis, maybe like a couple of hours a week. Just depends on whatever type of project. In most cases, I'm usually hiring for like a short-term project. So I would select that and then go to continue. And then here's where you're going to put in like a title for your job post. And you just want to basically specifically state what you want. So if you need a new logo design and say, for instance, you're a personal trainer, you can say need a logo design for personal trainer business. So something very simple like that. I actually have a sample job description that I'll leave below this video that, we've used in the past to hire many people for virtual assistant positions. The virtual assistant position is like almost having like a personal assistant that can work for you, help you support your operations, do stuff like sort your emails, make sure that, if quotes are coming in, they're getting processed, manage your CRM. So we would take this particular title here and copy it, looking for a remote virtual assistant to support our operations. And then you would paste that there. And then here it's just going to put it in a specific category. And if you think it should fall in another category, you can definitely choose that. I usually just select whatever it puts it in because it kind of knows based on the words that you put. Go next to skills. And this is where those keywords come to mind, to where if there's particular keywords that you want someone to have for a particular job, you just want to make sure they select it. Now, once again, they're going to give you some suggestions here based on the title that you selected. And they say for best results, select 3 to 5. So since I'm looking, like I said, for virtual assistants, I'm going to say stuff like virtual assistants, administrative support, customer service, and maybe like data entry. Those are going to be the types of things that are going to be very important for someone in that particular role to have those skills. And we can select more, but I'm going to select these for the purpose of this example. Then we go to next for scope. And then if it's going to be something that's going to be large, as I mentioned, like for instance, you're getting maybe like a whole website or an app set up. Or medium, maybe it's like I said, it's going to be to where on this screen is going to ask you to kind of estimate the scope of your work. So depending on if it's going to be a large project, it kind of gives you descriptions for large, medium, and small. So something like quick and straightforward tasks could be like doing some quick research or maybe putting like a quick logo. In our case, since we're hiring someone to kind of like do day-to-day work, like updating our records in our CRM and managing operations, it's going to be more of a medium. Large would be something like, if I go back to this here, like for instance, setting up a huge, maybe a website, setting up, creating a mobile app from scratch. That would be more of like a large project. In this case, we're just going to say medium. And then how long should it take? This really just depends on how long you think that you're going to have the person hired for. So if it's something quick and small, it will always be 1 to 3 months. And if you think you're going to have this person for a little bit longer, you can kind of select that or whatnot. In this case, I'm just going to say 1 to 3 months because usually we will select someone and hire them for an assistant role and maybe keep them for like 1 or 2 months, kind of on a probationary period, see how they work out. And then from there, we can actually always then just keep them on for full time. Well, so I'm going to say 1 to 3 months. And then what level of expertise here? This isn't, as I said, it's not going to restrict any proposals here. It's just going to basically help match expertise to your budget. Because how it works is once you post your job, Upwork is going to be showing your job to people who are already on the platform looking for work. And depending on what their skill set is, it's going to be showing these types of jobs, depending on if you say like if it's for somebody who's entry level, it's going to probably show it to more people on Upwork who have just gotten started out versus experts. In this case, I'm going to just say intermediate. If you're just starting out and you never used Upwork before, you could always definitely say entry. Just know with expert, that's where you're going to get at the higher rates, and people are obviously going to be commanding the top dollar. So it just really depends on what you're looking for. So you won't go wrong with either one of these two here. And then if it's a contract to hire opportunity, if something that you expect to be, full time, you can select that. In most cases, we just usually say not at this time and then go to location. Now, if you have a talent location to where you prefer your people to be from, you can select it here. So you can say like US only, or you can say worldwide. And even with worldwide, you can say, only for certain countries or whatnot. So we usually just keep it worldwide to kind of keep the bucket pool open, just to give everybody an opportunity. In that way, you can find, affordable rates depending on the economic situations in different countries and what their actual translation is from like the United States dollar. And then also, you're going to have the opportunity to, interview people as well. So if you shouldn't really have any concerns about language barriers, so you could be able to interview people and make a choice based on that as well. So we'll next to go say the budget, and this is where you can say you want to have someone for an hourly rate or a fixed rate. And many times it just depends on the project. Usually for an actual role like a VA here, you will usually select someone from an hourly standpoint, because if they're going to be doing work on a day-by-day basis, you usually bill them from an hourly standpoint, whereas fixed price is usually going to be really good when it's a project that needs to just be kind of one and done. So like, for instance, if you need somebody to build you create you like a logo, or build you like a quick website for a couple $100, that's going to usually be a fixed price. Whereas hourly, this person might work 5 hours today, they might work 3 hours tomorrow, they might work a couple hours the next day after that. Upwork tracks all that, so that's why you can just come in here and put in a particular hourly rate. So you can say whatever you want it to be, 7 up to all the way to 15 or even higher, depending on what you want to set. And then people are gonna actually submit proposals and tell you what their rate is before you hire them. Next, we go to description, and this is where you actually put in here all of the specific details about the expectations you have, the skills you require, the communication needs, and things of that nature. So that's why we have this document here. We normally will just use this, where it basically says we're looking for a virtual assistant to provide support to our team or working remotely. It just tells them some of the tasks they're going to be doing, and some of the responsibilities, and also some of the requirements that's needed here. So then we will just copy this and paste it there. Now, sometimes the formatting, like the bullet points, aren't going to transfer over, and that's fine. So that's why you can come here, put your name. So I can say like Automate Your Hustle is the leader in the consulting space. All right. And so now everything else is just stays the same. So all this is here. If you needed to attach something, you can. So like if you were getting a logo design, you maybe have like a sketch that you drew by hand, or there's some type of schematics or PDFs or anything that you needed to share, you could. In this case, we don't really need anything. So we will say review job post. And then now we can see here before we actually post this job, I'm just going to scroll down so you can see it. All right. And then we would just say post job. And I'm actually going to post this so we can actually get some people applying and look at that later. And just like that, it's now posted and it is live. Now that we've posted our job, the next step is to review all of the freelancer proposals. Now, we're probably going to get a lot of proposals coming in, because depending on the actual job that you post, it could be something that's a very, very broad skill set, like a virtual assistant, or maybe you're looking for something very, very specific. Now we get to the spot. Now that we've posted our job, the next step is to review all of the freelancer proposals. Now, we're going to probably get a lot of them. So this is why we need to definitely carefully examine their profiles, portfolios, look at their skills, experience, just to make sure they're the right candidate. And we could even shortlist the top candidates and then reach out to them to schedule interviews. This would be a good chance to dive deeper, ask questions, and also get a feel for their communication style and how they are solving different problems. Now, let's hop in and take a look at some of the proposals we've already gotten for the job that we posted. Back on our Upwork screen, I can see here that we already have 6 new proposals, and we just posted it a couple of moments ago. And I just clicked the button, it already now says 9. So you can see here that this number can definitely get up there pretty high. The good thing about Upwork is it's going to sort people based on how they feel that they're the best match and label them. So like you can see here, it shows best match and best match. And then also, if you see boosted, that means that this freelancer, they've actually paid money, so their post shows up a little bit higher. So take that into consideration as well. The people who boost their posts, they obviously really want the job, but make sure you do your due diligence and still kind of look at all of the other ones as well. And so we only have 9 here. I've seen the list get up to like 200. So if you're trying to make a quick decision, you might want to make it in the first 24 to 48 hours as far as shortlisting people. But to actually go through the process, you just look at their records here, and then you can click on it. And from there, you can kind of see what their proposal is. The cover letter, basically, this is them responding to your job. And then below that is their portfolio information. So you can see this is their description that's on their profile. And in addition to that, also any other work history that they have done as well. So you can see if they currently have jobs in progress, not in progress. and then whatever employment history they might have had outside of Upwork. So this is just to give you the chance to truly see the body of work of somebody that you hire. And this is very important because you want to make sure that you are getting a very good hire. One of the things that you necessarily want to also be on the lookout for too is people who may not have earned anything on Upwork, so some people may just be starting out, and you can always take a risk on them, and usually many times they will have lower rates, but at the same time, experience is paramount too. So you always want to make sure that you have a good blend of experience with also any kind of case studies, portfolios that they can provide to help you. And then if you wanted to shortlist people, you can click up this plus arrow, or if you wanted to kind of remove them, you can click the down arrow. And then once we're ready to start reaching out to people, we just click on message and we can send them a quick message. And usually I'll say something like, hey, thanks for actually reaching out. Hopefully you're still interested in the job. I want to know if we could maybe schedule a quick interview to understand a little bit more about your background and see if we're a good fit to work together. So you can start this process with maybe 2 or 3 people, have some interviews scheduled with them, and then you kind of move on to the next phase, which is actually then reaching out to them and making an actual proposal to where you can close the deal. So now that we reached out to some people that we think have great potential, now it's time to interview them. So before going into the interview, it's always a good idea to have kind of a list of questions in mind to make sure that they're going to be a good candidate for you. Stuff about maybe their work ethic, maybe specific project requirements that you need, and you want to see if they've actually done this type of work before. Of course, if they're going to be a remote candidate, you might want to understand what their hours of working availability is going to be. Because maybe just because they're in a different country outside of your working hours, you still want them to work in your particular working hours. So those types of things should be hashed out in that actual interview process. And then once you actually select someone, once you think you found that have a good candidate, you may have a situation to where, if you want to negotiate the rates and terms, depending on, if you think that they deserve more, or if you think that their proposal is too high, you can kind of negotiate that and come to a fairly hourly or project rates that kind of align with both of your experience and understanding of what the milestones are going to be. And then specifically, you definitely want to make sure that you have very specific, clear payment terms. So if you're going to have a deposit up front, or it's going to be you're going to pay it all at once, or if you maybe going to pay half at 50% and the other half at 100%, Upwork allows you to actually establish these terms, and then it agrees to pay it out on a particular schedule, and then it gets released to the freelancer in that particular state. And now it's all welcome aboard. Once we've actually sent over the milestones with the contract laid out to them and they accepted it, now it's time to actually welcome them and basically let them know they have guidance to start. So with that, Upwork has a chat functionality to where once the person has actually approved your proposal and you've actually sent over the milestones and made the first payment if needed, or put the money in escrow, you're put into a chat room together. So now you can go back and forth. And so you definitely want to make sure that, of course, you welcome them, but in addition to that, provide ongoing feedback too, especially if it's going to be more of a longer term project. So if it's going to be something quickly like a logo, you may be only chatting for a couple of days, you hash out all the back and forth, and now your logo is done. But if it's going to be somebody that's going to be working for you for a couple of weeks to a couple of months, just definitely make sure to continue to provide ongoing feedback, because that's only helping them to refine their approach and continue to develop high quality work that meets your standards, so you can have a great working relationship. And these are just some last best practices for successful Upwork projects. Definitely clear communication. So don't hire someone and then ghost them, or if they have questions about certain issues, make sure you get back to them in a timely manner, because the longer that there's delay with communication, that's just the longer it's going to take for your project to be completed. Always provide detailed feedback. Don't give very, very loose requirements. If it's something that you need specific, be very specific, and also make sure your feedback is specific as well. Be flexible. You're collaborating with someone who is maybe, like I said, on the other side of the world. So things could happen. Be flexible to accommodate changes. There could be issues like internet access, and then challenges that can arise during the project. So just make sure to have that communication, and also ways to remain flexible. And lastly, one of the most important, definitely prompt payments. Make sure that when the work is done, that you actually pay your freelancer when they should get paid. No one likes to actually have done something for work and then they don't hear anything about the particular payment. So you just want to make sure that you have prompt payments, because that's only going to make you have a better positive relationship working with them, and that's just going to be a great fruitful relationship in the future as well. So in this video, hopefully you can see by just leveraging the power of Upwork, you can unlock a vast amount of skilled freelancers in all different areas to help you basically do anything that you need in your business to get some of your time back. And above all, make sure to set yourself up for a great experience. So you don't want to hire someone or come onto this site with expectations that you're going to get this star worker, but then your description is horrible, or you're not paying them on time, or you're not giving good feedback. Just go in it understanding that you also have to show up and be a good boss, because in this situation, you are someone's boss. You are hiring someone to do work for you. So you want to be a good boss so they can actually solve the problems that you need to be solved, and then everything will be successful and you're going to have a lot more time back in your business. So hopefully you once again have gotten some great nuggets out of this video. If you haven't already signed up for Upwork, make sure you go do it. And I'll drop the link also in the bio here to the hiring document that I showed you that we use in our business to hire remote agents. Thank you.